when their father cut off their heads. Nom nom nom.
A long time ago, in a kingdom called Grimm, there lived two children, Hansel and Gretel. They weren't ordinary kids. They were the beloved son and daughter of the king and queen themselves. Their parents adored them more than anything. But one night, something completely unthinkable happened. The king and queen, in their sorrow and madness, cut off the heads of their own children. Now, you're probably thinking, wait, what? How could any parent do that? And doesn't the story end right there? But no, this is just the beginning. After killing their children, the king and queen wept bitterly, sewing their necks back together with a magical thread. They saved their lives, but nothing was ever the same again. Hansel and Gretel, heartbroken and traumatized, stopped speaking to their parents. That night, Gretel took her brother by the hand, and the two of them left their room crying. They made a painful decision. They would no longer live in that castle. Instead, they would run away and try to find new parents who could love them the way they deserved. As they planned to leave, a mysterious man appeared in their room. Who was he? That's a secret the story holds on to for later. For now, Hansel and Gretel quietly slipped out of the palace and out of the village, trembling with fear of the unknown. Gretel pulled out a map she had hidden away. It showed the path to Mrs. Bicar's house. Mrs. Bicar was a kind baker who often brought cakes and biscuits to the palace, so Gretel thought maybe she would take them in. That night, the siblings stopped in a dark forest to rest. But danger was already waiting. They had to escape from wild wolves that prowled the shadows. Luckily, they stumbled upon a farmer who kindly pointed them in the direction of the baker's house. Grateful, they continued until they finally found it, a house made entirely of candy, cake, and sweets. Out of the doorway stepped a woman with a friendly smile. "Oh, children," she said warmly, "I adore kids. Come inside. You must be so hungry." But the woman wasn't what she seemed. Hansel and Gretel didn't know that she was a witch who lured children with candy just so she could devour them later. Once inside, she kept feeding them sweets, and soon Hansel and Gretel grew weak and lazy, almost like they were under her spell. The next morning, the witch asked Hansel to help her in the kitchen. She slyly placed him inside the oven, telling him to check if it was hot enough. But Hansel quickly realized the truth. She was planning to roast him alive. Thinking fast, he turned the trick back on her. Hansel shoved the witch into the oven and slammed the door shut. He and Gretel escaped. But before they could get too far, Mrs. Bicar herself appeared, revealing her monstrous true self. She lunged at them, but they shoved her away. She stumbled into the air, and that was the end of her. The siblings ran, desperate to get away. But their troubles weren't over. The same strange man they had seen earlier was now chasing them. Gretel whispered to her brother, "Let's find the farmer who helped us before. He was kind. We can trust him." So the two of them headed straight for his house. When they arrived, the farmer and his wife welcomed them warmly. They gave the children turnips for dinner, and for a while, Hansel and Gretel felt safe. But things weren't as simple as they seemed. One day, Hansel wandered into a forbidden room. Inside, he saw 7 small beds lined up neatly. Just then, the farmer appeared, looking angry. "You must never come in here again," he warned. Hansel later brought Gretel to see the room. While exploring, Gretel discovered a picture of the farmer with his family. He had 7 sons. Later that night, Gretel overheard the farmer and his wife talking. The wife sounded sad, and the farmer confessed, "If we hadn't kept Gretel with us hoping for a daughter, our real daughter wouldn't have turned into a swallow and flown away." This crushed Gretel's heart. She blamed herself, thinking a witch's curse had caused all of this. Determined to fix it, she vowed to help the farmer's 7 sons, who were somehow trapped in a magical fate. Her new journey began. One night, Gretel sat crying by the river, wondering how she could possibly find the 7 swallows. Suddenly, she saw a magical star glowing on the water's surface. The star spoke to her. The swallows were locked away inside a tower at the top of Crystal Mountain. The door to the tower is hidden behind a secret entrance. To open it, you must answer a riddle. "I am black and die at night, but as soon as the morning comes, I live again." Once you solve it, you'll also need this magical bone to unlock the door. Gretel and Hansel set out on this new adventure. Their path was long and brutal, crossing sharp cliffs, burning deserts, and deep swamps. But after countless struggles, they finally reached the foot of Crystal Mountain. By now, Hansel and Gretel had grown older, stronger, and braver. As they climbed, Gretel accidentally dropped the magical bone from her bag. By the time they reached the hidden door, The bone was gone. Desperate, she refused to give up. She cuts her finger, and with its bone, she managed to open the crystal door. Inside, the 7 swallows were freed. Gretel fell to her knees and apologized to them, but the brothers explained the truth. It wasn't her fault. Their grandfather had once demanded they fetch water from the well for Gretel's honey, because he had always longed for a daughter. When they failed, he cursed them in anger, turning them into swallows. Hearing this, Gretel's face twisted with anger. She cried out, "I'm such a fool. I risked everything, nearly died, just to save you, and even cut my own finger open." The 7 brothers begged her forgiveness and offered to take her home with them, but Gretel refused. "No," she said firmly, "Hansel and I will find a new home, a new family, somewhere we truly belong." So the 2 siblings set out once more, wandering into another forest. There, they came across a massive tree that could talk. Its voice was deep and kind. "My name is Dil-Jibby," the tree said. "I am the protector of this forest." Hansel asked if they could stay. The tree's deep voice rumbled warmly, "Yes, my child, stay as long as you wish, but remember the law of this forest. Take only what you truly need." Gretel and Hansel promised to follow his words and built a small house under the tree's shade. For a while, life seemed peaceful, but Hansel, he forgot the promise. Instead of taking only what they needed, he began to hunt animals endlessly, far more than necessary. His greed twisted him. Slowly, Hansel transformed into something terrifying, a dreadful wolf. Gretel, horrified by what her brother had become, rushed back to the tree. With sorrow, the tree told her, "To save yourself, you must break his heart. You must leave him, abandon him, and keep far away. It is the only way." But Gretel shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "No, I won't do that. He's all I have left in this world. I can't leave Hansel." Before she could decide what to do, the mysterious angry man appeared once again, demanding to know where Hansel and Gretel were. He begged the tree for permission to enter the forest, but the tree blocked his way, refusing to let him pass. Meanwhile, Hansel, now fully lost in his wolf form, attacked Gretel in a frenzy. During the struggle, Gretel's most precious toy broke in her hands. Devastated, Hansel fled into the darkness, no longer recognizing his sister. Not long after, soldiers and ministers from the palace rode into the forest on a hunting expedition. They captured Hansel, taking him as their prey. Gretel was dragged along too, heartbroken, believing she had truly lost her brother forever. Alone and grieving, Gretel wandered away from the forest. But the old man who followed them stalked her from the shadows. Just as he about to strike, a girl rushed in to save her. Her name was Dick, a fish seller from a nearby village. She took Gretel to her home, giving her safety and comfort. Back in the village, the hunters arrived with their catch. They had brought Hansel, still in wolf form. But when the wolves bit into him, something strange happened. Hansel shed the wolf skin, revealing himself once again as a boy. Everyone was shocked. The story then split into 2 paths. Gretel, now living with Dick, met a woman named Idak. Idak was kind and offered Gretel a place to stay. "You can even help me with my work," she said. Gretel agreed, grateful for the kindness. Hansel, on the other hand, was taken in by a man known as Master Lot. He treated Hansel well, raised him into a good boy, and asked him to remain under his care. Still, both siblings thought constantly of each other, weighed down by sadness. But as time passed, their grief dulled, just as sorrow often does. One day, a handsome young man came into Idak's shop. Gretel helped him gather the things he wanted, and before leaving, he smiled and invited her to dinner. Gretel blushed, unsure what to think. Later, Idak teased her. "You've fallen for him, haven't you? He's so handsome." Gretel quickly denied it, but deep down, she couldn't shake the feeling. That evening, Gretel prepared to attend the young man's dinner party. Idak warned her not to go alone, but Gretel, stubborn and frustrated, stormed out by herself. At the same time, far away, Master Lot was gambling with none other than Satan. Satan grinned and said, "If you lose this game, that chair in your library will be mine, along with whatever sits in it." Master Lot, arrogant, agreed, but he lost. Satan went straight to the library and flung open the doors. There, sitting in the chair, was Hansel. "Why are you here, boy?" Master Lot scolded. "You're supposed to be in your room." Satan laughed cruelly. "No, master, he's mine now. You lost the game, and this child will come with me to hell. If you try to escape, Hansel, I'll kill your sister Gretel. You have 3 days. Meanwhile, Gretel arrived at the party, only to find the place eerie and unsettling. A wise old woman greeted her, but something about her seemed like a witch. Gretel whispered, "This doesn't look like a party at all." The witch forced a smile. "Oh, my son invited you. Please sit. He will arrive soon. You're his guest." But Gretel noticed the slip in her words. Guest sounded more like victim. The witch offered strange drinks. Water distilled from human fire, liquid from human teeth, or coffee made from rat bone. Horrified, Gretel refused. Then she noticed shackles around the witch's ankles. "Why are you wearing those?" she asked. The witch sighed, her eyes filling with tears. "To strengthen my legs, or at least that's what I tell people. The truth is, I am my son's prisoner. He seduces young girls, steals their souls, and traps them in objects, so his magical thread remains powerful. And it's all my fault. I taught him this magic." Gretel, moved by pity, tried to unlock her chains. The witch wept. "No one has ever cared for me like this before. But listen, child, if you value your life, run. If my son finds you, you'll be his next victim." But Gretel, broken-hearted, whispered, "Maybe that's what I deserve. I lost Hansel. I let him die. I have no one left." The witch, touched, revealed the truth. With her magic, she showed Gretel that Hansel was still alive. Gretel's heart leapt with hope. But just then, the witch's son entered, dragging another girl. Hiding, Gretel watched in horror as he pulled the girl's soul from her body and locked it inside a pen. The girl's ring fell to the floor, and Gretel quickly snatched it. Suspicious, the young man accused his mother of hiding something. He began to search for Gretel. The witch managed to hide her, giving her a chance to escape. As Gretel ran, she saw cages filled with countless trapped souls. They begged her, "Please, tell our families what happened to us. Make them remember us." Gretel promised, clutching the ring tightly.
Any worse.
I hate my job.